Welcome to this great adventure of two sisters.
Absolutely not. Hey guys, welcome to the Regina Kids podcast. I am your host, Maxi.
With her lovely younger sister, Rita the H.A.M.
And here on the podcast, as you can see, sibling relationships can be loving and sometimes a bit
dramatic.
Affect me, please. Complicated. So, join us every week as we explore all aspects of having a sibling.
Come be our sibling.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to another episode of the Regina Kids podcast. I'm your host, Maxi.
I'm your host, Rita.
Y'all really gotta like and subscribe and join the YouTube because she is over here like I'm looking at her as the intro video is playing, and she is just kind of like fluffing out her hair.
So it was cute, right? It was cute. I put a little leave-in conditioner, and
you woke up like Scary Spice.
No, I went outside. And that Florida humidity was like, nope, we finna fry your shit. So this what y'all getting today. Probably for the next 2 episodes, me fluffing out this fluff. But also you can see I dyed my hair. I'm a sexy brown now.
No. She didn't turn classic 40. She ain't OG 39 no more. She done,
I didn't
he tried to tone it down.
The only reason why I tone my hair down because it's a certain hairstyle I want and I can't find it in the regular colors. So I was like, forget it.
You can only find it in regular colors.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Anyway.
The disrespect.
This episode is going to be a little touchy. We are talking about mental health and anxiety and depression and everything in between. But before we get there, how you doing, Rita? Classic Forte.
Good. I am doing good. I'm doing great. I went and got me some sun today. Hair got fried outside. Yeah. Well, we did some errands and stuff.
Oh, so
and my man was driving fast, so. Well, I mean, I went outside with my hair wet. It dried real quick, but yeah, that leave-in conditioner.
You put enough?
Yeah, I don't think I put enough in. It didn't hold. So.
What have you been up to? What have you done lately?
It's been a lot going on, but that's for another show. Well,
my sister recently took me to my other sibling. Took me to see the Barbie movie.
Yeah, that was a part of my birthday extravaganza. I'd go with it. But I'll talk about the Barbie movie because me and my bonus baby went and we was Barbied out, bitch. We had on our Barbie t-shirts. We had on our Barbie Crocs.
They had on fur Crocs in Florida, but
the thing is, the fur is just for comfort because they didn't make my feet hot. Oh, and then my nails, our nails pink.
Oh, she got Barbie pink nails too?
Well, I don't know if her nails is pink, but mine is. And my toes. So.
Girl, I might care about your feet.
And we went to Cracker Barrel.
Anyway. So,
but don't y'all be judging me.
Right.
Well, I don't care if y'all do anyway, but my real hair. Bitches. For the ones that's trying to judge me.
Anyway.
Look at that. Shrinkage is real. Look at that light.
Again, if y'all want to see her real hair, like anybody cares, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Regina Kids Podcast at Regina Kids Podcast. You could drop us a sib note at our email at virginiakidspodcast@gmail.com for any likes, comments, and all the above. You can slip and slide all over to the DMs at underscore Virginia Kids Podcast on Instagram or on TikTok at Virginia Kids Podcast. Um, let's go ahead and play our commercial for the show. If you're new here, I am a 3-time self-published author. All
Mm-hmm.
of my books are available now on Amazon, and soon, in the next couple of weeks, will be available on Barnes and Noble. I'm just waiting on
Woo
my
woo.
I'm waiting on my hardcover proofs to come in, because the special thing about that is when I initially self-published my first book, my only option at the time was to make it into a paperback book, but I have that option for it to be a hardcover copy on Barnes and Noble, and it's an extended version of the book. So you get more affirmations, more journal pages, and it's a hardcover. So it's kind of like a bonus. Hey Dreamers, my name is Maxi E. Norman, owner of Eleanor Maxwell LLC. I'm a broadcast media manager and show producer. I'm also a podcaster of a show called the Virginia Kids Podcast, and I'm a 3-time self-published author. You heard me, 3 times self-published author. My first book, On My Broken Crayon Still Color, daily affirmation book, and a journal was wrote to motivate and encourage. My second book, Love You More, Grieving Isn't Easy and Healing Hurts, is about the 5 stages of grief and how to jumpstart your process of healing. My new book, the trilogy, I Am Not Responsible for Your Tears, is the authentic guide to being happy. And it's about getting those 7 steps to being fully happy. All my books are available now on Amazon. And as always, we'll continue to glow through whatever it is we're going through. Okay, so to get into the subject of today, well, I know you
Mm-hmm.
personally have been to therapy
Yes.
before. Was the first time you went to therapy just after, because dad died and you
Yeah.
had to work through that? That was your first time ever going to therapy?
Yeah, and it was trash. It didn't help.
Wow. Okay. So,
He told me
I,
to take cold showers.
to stop you from doing what?
Supposed to help you if you take a cold shower. It's supposed to help you um relax and cool down your body temperature so you can go to sleep.
But you was on the verge of becoming an alcoholic, so how was that supposed to help you?
Exactly.
Anyway, have you done any other type of therapy? Like I've had regular therapy, and then I did like life coaching in that
Yeah, I did
type of.
like honestly the life coaching helped me more than um the therapy did. But outside of that, the only other therapy I did was like marriage counseling. But that was just to show my ex husband he was a dumbass.
You know what, Rita? I can't. You so you wasn't going for your benefit to try to grow or to save that relationship. You just wanted
No.
to prove
I
a
mean, I
point.
eventually just went. I went to her a couple more times after, just to work through like some anger issues and stuff like that. But I mean, it helped a little bit. But honestly, the the coaching I did with Coach L was the best coaching that I've done for myself.
I get it. So I have been battling with carpal tunnel and
For
tendonitis
years.
in my right hand for a long time. And I've been putting it off and putting it off having the surgery because I was getting the shots. And they tell you that, when you get the cortisone shots in your hands and in your wrist, that one is only a 50% chance that it's actually going to work. But
Mm-hmm.
two, when you start getting the cortisone shots, even I know people who have gotten cortisone shots in their knee. When you start getting those shots into your cartilage and into your tendons, it makes it worse eventually.
Right.
So I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So um, recently, my trigger fingers, which is my thumb, and I guess that's the
Pointer,
two
your pointer
pointer
finger.
finger and my middle finger.
Pew pew.
So
Oh, these pew pews.
wow, yes, if you was to make an L, if you put your middle finger and your pointer together and your thumb out to make an L, they
Mm.
call that your trigger. So my trigger fingers were becoming stuck. Like in the morning, or if I type too much, or if I just do a lot of activity, they become stuck.
Mm.
So, thus is the reason why I need to go have hand surgery, which will be happening soon. But a lot of times, especially in this day and age, because there is an abundance of people who need um, mental health services, you have to, even before surgery, they want, if your some doctors are really thorough and they want you to have an evaluation to make sure that, like, you're mentally preparing yourself to, go through a procedure and have surgery and all of that. Because, like I had explained to my doctor, like, one is my dominant hand. Two, she's aware that I work a lot and I do a lot. So mentally, I never like sit still a lot. So um, I had to go get an evaluation.
Mm.
And I realized that the process to people getting mental health services is completely trash. Like, it's completely fucked up. Like, I wrote a whole book about the 5 stages of grief.
Right.
And in doing that, I was putting actual words with some of the way that I had been feeling my whole life. But in getting this evaluation, they have to say exactly what's wrong with you. And I'm going to be fully transparent. I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD, and moderate depression, as well as overly stressed causes a whole lot of other stuff that stress causes. Whatever. I don't know. All the verbiage
So
I.
when you got the diagnosis, the what was the first feel like? How did you feel with everything that was said? Did you agree? Don't agree?
Um, I agreed, and then I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Because just based on the stuff that I'm going through currently, I know that a lot of people around me have these same diagnoses, but because they will probably, one, never go get therapy, two, um, won't take the time to go actually have it documented. Because it
Mm.
might mean more to go get it documented. Like, in going there, I found out that, like, I've been having a ringing in my ear, and she's saying it's the reason why the MRIs and the CAT scans and the audio and everything I did with my audiologist to go figure out what's wrong with my ear, and they really couldn't figure out wrong with it except that I was losing my hearing in my left ear. It's being caused by stress and anxiety. So that's the issue.
Mm.
But to back up a little bit before we get to the diagnosis. So, my primary care doctor put, you need to go talk to somebody. You have to call the behavioral department Great. I call them, and the first thing she tells me is, you have to get a referral here. You can't just call here and set up an appointment. You have to get a referral. So I'll check your records, whatever, to see if you got a referral. So she checked, like, oh, okay, you do. Now you have to go in and fill out like a whole evaluation on yourself. Like you got to answer like 20 to 25 questions.
Okay.
So I answered the questions, sent it back. And then she gives you a list of people that's in network under the medical group that I'm in. Mind you, there's only like 10, it might have been 15 people. They don't really have a whole lot of information on them. Some of them have pictures, some of them don't. And the ones that I seen, I was like, they look a little weird. I'm just looking at the pictures and I'm not vibing. So I picked the one that I thought was less weird and that I could actually Google and get more information on. She told me, oh, she's on a wait. You have to get on her waiting list. And someone will call you within 2 weeks. Honestly, I still never got that call. Then she gives me another list of like a bunch of like clinics, I guess, or whatever, that you can call and try to see if somebody can get you in. Then she tells me, so after I go through that and on the wait list, I call my doctor back and she says, well, try going through your insurance. Now, the issue with all of this is, what if I didn't have insurance? Like, then I'm just on the phone calling these lists of clinics trying to find somebody who can get me in, which is an issue. So then I go through my insurance and they send me a list of maybe like 50 people. Only difference between their list and the list that the nurse sent me was that I can actually click on the people, read through the process. Like I can click on each person. It tells me where they went to school, what they do, how they run a business, blah, 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 blah. So that's great, but it's 50. And the lady over the phone with my insurance clearly made it very clear. These are all the doctors that's in your network, but we cannot recommend one to you. Like we can't recommend which one is better, who uses them more, yada, yada, yada.
Well, I mean, in a way, you really have to, from my experience, you have to find someone that fits you. You know what I mean? Like, they can, even if they did try to like recommend somebody for you, that one that they recommend may not be who's fit to, you know what I'm saying, that you're like comfortable with, that you're actually getting valid information and help from.
Facts. So after doing all of that, then I choose a bunch of them, then I call, and some of them, they're not taking new patients. You have to be on the waiting list, or somebody will call you back in 24 to 48 hours. And then what I did find was easy was that my job also offers like teleservice like therapy. But
that's neat.
And they also, you able to click and pick the person, and if they're they went to school for this, but they do a more holistic type of therapy or whatever. I'm finding that you really do have to find the therapist that fits you, but and also don't be afraid if it's not working out for you that you pick somebody else.
Right.
But the issue with having to go to these therapists and try to figure it out, like, it's not for free. Like, you paying in upper $200-$300 a session to find out that this person is not a good fit for you. And when I actually did find one that was a fit, and I'm in the process of talking to another one too to see which one is better suited for me, I did explain to her, like, if I was having a crisis or something and wanted to jump off a building, like the process that y'all are taking people through just to try to find somebody to speak to is like utterly ridiculous. Like that's ridiculous to me. Like I was like, if I was having a crisis or it was like really really bad, it wasn't like I was sick because I needed to have surgery. I don't know where the hell I would be. Like that to me is absolutely absurd. Like it's crazy.
I think more so if you was having a crisis, they'll tell you just go to the the whatever floor at the hospital.
Yeah, but who wants to just be admitted into the hospital and put on some drugs without actually sitting down and talking to somebody?
I
Like,
guess it depends on how much of a crisis you're having.
yeah, but even with that, they don't immediately admit you when you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You just be sitting there going crazy. It's like that whole process to this whole mental health that they're calling a crisis, it is a crisis. Like there needs to be something like an intermediate person that people can talk to before they get to the other person. Like they really need to try to fix that and put something in place because the things that I had to go through, it's like I see why people don't do it and why they not like why they don't want to. And I wasn't even supposed to see my diagnosis. I was supposed to go to my regular doctor and I was supposed to talk to her first. And I guess she would have explained it all or whatever. But also just in looking at your own information and advocating for yourself, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of jargon in there. And then they diagnose you with something and then it's kind of like, okay. Like, what am I supposed to do with that now? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on. Like mentally, like I can understand why it's a lot of people going through the things that they're going through. Whether it's, new or it's onset from old childhood trauma and all of that. Like just the process of just trying to get said help is a lot and it takes a mental toll on you. Like tired of calling these people. I'm tired of, talking to this person and if they don't sound right, then I got to go to the next person. And, you know, people do video chats, but then some people rather have you come in person. It's like, a little weird.
Yeah.
So,
But it all depends on the person because some people it might be beneficial for them to do a video chat because they're more comfortable in their home because they're like severely introverted type thing. And but then it's not. Then you have the other people who need that maybe going into the office is kind of like their safe space in a way. You know what I mean?
well, for me, I feel like if I'm gonna be sitting there trying to tell you my business, I need to kind of meet you in person and get your vibe and get the feeling because
Hmm.
you hear all of the horror stories of people who just go to therapy and they therapists really don't give them no kind of real nothing. Like you said, it was trash, and then
I
the next thing
literally
you,
told. I'm telling you, all he told me was like, you need to relax. You need to, at night take cold showers and relax. I'm like, cold showers. Okay.
did he,
That is not gonna help me want to stop punching somebody in the face.
here you go. Did they offer you any medication?
Um, Not that I can remember. Because I think he was still trying to figure out what my problem was, even though I told him what my problem was.
So that's your first session. What happens at your second session when you
Well,
tell
after
when you
that,
tell
I just
you
kept going. I just kept going because I just needed to be off work because I wanted to punch my boss in the face. Because when I told her that my dad had passed, she compared it to her dog dying.
wait, what?
Exactly.
What do you mean compared?
And she was like, "Oh my God, um, I feel your pain. I remember when my dog died." Your dog. Nothing against my parents of pets, but yeah, I wasn't going. I went and
Yeah.
I called HR on her
Did she
and
get in
said she
trouble?
need. I don't know. When I came back, she wasn't my supervisor no more. So yeah, I had called HR, and then they gave me the number to our it's a certain department that you call for like mental health and all of that or whatever, and then they gave me the number to a therapist, and then I was off for like 6 months.
6 months. It was that long?
Yeah,
I know you was off for a minute, but
I was off from
yeah,
like I was off from actually it was like more like 7 months. I was off from like May to December, something like that.
you was
No, I was
playing
off from
this.
May to I was off from May. No, yeah, May to December.
Do you feel like you were you you
I
really
went on
needed
vacation, so yeah, I
that
went on
time
vacation.
off, or were you playing the system
I need both,
that?
both. It was both. You know what I'm saying? Because I went on vacation. I was everywhere. I went to Mexico. I was Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Like I was somewhere
Used to
everywhere.
Atlanta, Vegas.
Yeah, I think that helped me with my issues.
So
Kind of
traveling helped you
traveling and partying.
with your
I was like,
anger issues.
yeah, because I was out here acting like my daddy.
Rita, I don't think that fully helped you, honestly, but
I mean, in hindsight, no. But at that time, it got me through it.
it was right up your alley, huh?
Oh yeah, it was right up my alley because that shit wasn't whatever that wasn't working.
Unlike your sister
It was only
who's
beneficial. It was only
laying on the couch
beneficial.
crying her eyes out every day.
It was only beneficial for me to be off work.
I don't know. What is your sib note of the day, Rita? Because you
I
just be
mean,
like, I don't care. Like, I needed
no,
those
I
eight
do.
months. I needed
I
them 8 months.
did, girl. I did.
I mean, I ain't fully
I
against it
pay my
because
bills.
people.
My bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, I completely understand like depression and anxiety and all of that stuff and I completely understand. Don't get me wrong, because I know a lot of times I'll be like, "Oh, she ain't serious. She does this, that. She don't care." I do care. I've been, you know what I'm saying. I've been through it before too. After I had eye surgery and I couldn't do makeup no more, I was depressed. Like it's not an easy transition trying to refigure out your whole life, or when you going through something devastating. Because the thing is that like everybody process differently. Like for me, I was never one to really process emotion, and I would just keep it going. But then later on, like when I actually processed it, then I turned into a big ass crybaby, and I was like, I didn't understand that shit at all. Like all this fucking crying, like what the hell is going on?
That's where I've been at for the last 2 years now.
Yeah,
I
because
think
it's
I've
just like
cried the most I've ever cried in my whole life.
yeah,
One of
because
my friends,
once you unpack, it's like it's 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 hard, but once you unpack it and then start going through the steps of letting stuff go, it's so necessary.
yeah, one of my friends said, "What the hell did you expect? You've been holding those tear ducts for 42 years." I
Yeah, you
said,
at
"I
least
just
supposed to
need."
cry 1 or 2 times in between. Like at least 1 or 2 times a year, or something. But yeah, once it, your bubble finally pops
Your
and
bubble finally
well
pops.
your well your closet spills over, uh and and everything just falls out, and you actually have to, it's kind of like doing spring cleaning when you got to go into that closet that you ain't really organized or cleaned and dusted in a while and all that. Just start like pulling out all this old shit that you ain't used to have or whatever, and you just like, oh my god, this, oh my god, that, this. You pretty much relearning yourself, because a lot of the shit that we grew up with is not healthy. a
You
lot of
right.
the a lot of the things that we were taught, and the processes in which we learned how to survive, are not healthy at all whatsoever. And if you look
Oh,
at all the parents that was born in, I would say, the 60s and later, and how they act, a lot of all of them act the same. Like,
fact.
from the way that they were brought up and things like that or whatever. So they only taught us what they know. But now we're at that point and we're just like, we in this world, we can't function that type of way.
Right.
It's not healthy. We can't keep moving forward in this type of way because it doesn't fucking make sense.
That part.
But at the same time, you find, if you are open with your parents and they really, if you hear their stories, if you listen, because a lot of times they be sitting there with their friends or they on the phone and they talking about, or they talking to their sibling and they talk about their childhood and how they grew up with their parents and what their parents did. You end up wanting to give your parents just a maybe a little bit of grace, because they only taught us what they knew. So it's
Facts.
just like, like, I can't keep being, there's some healing that may come from that too as well, because your parent only could do what they knew, and then you have to take that and process it and be like, well, you know what, I'm not finna be that way. I'm not finna move forward. I don't want to be like you when I get to your age.
Facts. You don't want to be sitting around woulda, shoulda, coulda, bitter and
Right,
mad
at
about
all.
something that you were unable to control or something that you wasn't able to heal from. Because you can heal from anything.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. It just takes that time, and it takes forgiveness, But like, so my sim note is, give yourself grace, even though it's difficult. If you know that you need therapy, go through the steps to figure out how you can. If you have insurance, if you don't have insurance, go to y'all free clinic and things like that to see if there's somebody that you can talk to and get some sessions and stuff from. Unfortunately, just with the way that our society is set up, it's a process. But once
it
you get through
is.
that process and you find that right therapist for you, it's it's gonna be so worth it.
Yeah, because the key word for today is mental mindfulness. And I think that's really important because that old saying, your mind is a terrible thing to waste, it definitely is. And you shouldn't be wasting it on negativity and past hurts and traumas that's blocking you from being
Exactly.
unable to move forward. I've been reading one of my favorite artists' new book, Adversity for Sale by J. Jeezy Jenkins. But I recently heard him in an interview say something in effect about being guarded, and that when people start to
Hmm.
build those walls up, is really for protection. Is for so they can protect their self. But in the process of you building this wall to keep the bad stuff out,
You
you're
keeping
keeping
the good stuff.
yourself you keeping yourself trapped in. So you're also
Hmm.
missing the good people and the blessings and the things like that. So Um, yeah. But with that being said, mental mindfulness, advocate for yourself, go out and do the work and get the help that you need in order to be a better person. And yeah, y'all gonna follow us on this journey that I'm having, a hand surgery and all of the other, things that come along with this life, because life definitely do be lifing.
Man, listen.
But as always, grab my books on Amazon. They're a good read if you got some downtime to just mentally get yourself together, to be motivated and encouraged. Start processing healing from grief, and to get to your 7 steps of happy. And as always, we thank y'all again for joining us on another episode of Virginia Kids Podcast, and we will continue to glow through.
Whatever it is we're going through.
And we'll see you
I
next
mean,
time.
next time, maybe next time I'll have something done better with this hair, guys. But for right now, that's just what y'all getting.
Richard, say bye, please.
Bye, guys.